Hey guys, so far we've gone over uh, some of the most basic tags, being the paragraph tag, the different headers, span, div, and now what I want to do is show you how to style them because while this looks cool and all, it's still incredibly bland. So the way you can do that is you just go right here into your opening tag, you type in style, you do equals, and then you put quotes. Don't forget to do the quotes because if you don't, it's just not going to work. So let's see here. We want, let's see, Google rocks. Well, why don't we make that a bit larger? So font size 50 pixels. We close that out with a semicolon. And why don't we also give it a border of 5 pixels thick. The border is 5 pixels thick. We want it to be solid, and we want it to be blue. Okay, so let's see what this gives us. There we go. And now you see this? Neat, but it goes all the way across the page. We don't want that. What if we just want it to go halfway across the page? Well, we can do that. We go over here, we type in width 50%. And let's see what this gives us. It gives us half the page of width. So now, let's see. And you notice one thing I want to point out, how this P tag is styled, but this one down here isn't, where it says neat. Yeah, that's still the same. So I'm going to use that to segue into another way, and what most people tend to think is a much more efficient way of styling your documents, because if you want to change all of your paragraphs to have this sort of styling, you're going to have to manually go in and do it with each and every one. Not to mention that this just gets to be incredibly cluttered when you start having tons of these and giving each and every one it's in page inline styling. It just starts to look really bad and becomes incredibly cumbersome. So I'm going to take all of this, I'm going to copy it, get rid of you, and up here I'm going into the header section. Now remember how I told you before that in the head section you don't really see much of that. It just tells the browser what to load and what files related to what. And so this is where we are going to put what's called a style tag. And let's see, down. Okay, so let's just say we want to edit our paragraphs, all of our paragraphs, to have the same styling that we see right here. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to copy and paste that in. Now when you do it this way between style tags in the head, oh gosh, sorry, I did this between the, that was fail on my part. Okay. So while we needed the quotes before, when we added it inline here, you don't need the quotes here. In fact, the quotes may actually end up messing things up. And convention is to have one different styling per line, and to end each line with a semicolon. And now what's going to happen here is this paragraph tag down here is going to get the same styling as this paragraph tag had right here. So why don't we go ahead and do that, save it, there we go. And that's an example as to just really how powerful this is, putting it between style tags up here. And you can even go further with this. You can, let's just say we want to change our divs, we want the div to have a font color of green, and we want it to have a shadow. Let's see. And what this does is the 3 pixels brown, what this does is it tells you, okay, I want the shadow to be offset by 3 pixels. I want it to go down 3 pixels and to the right 3 pixels, and I want the shadow to be brown. Okay, so let's see what this gives us. You see that it's kind of, that's not very nice to look at. So why don't we go ahead and make this font size a bit larger too, just to, make it a little prettier. 66 pixels. And you see how that added it, and yeah, now we have a nice little shadow. Now, mind you, in CSS, it is completely valid to have negative numbers. All that does is it just takes it in the other direction. So how this one is originally pixels to the right, if we want to go pixels to the left, we just add a negative sign there, and I'm sorry, that's up and down, not left and right. Got those mixed up there. But anyways, you get the point. Okay? And in the next video, I want to show you an even better way of doing this than putting it still in the HTML document like we have here. Alright, thanks guys.